Hello all and welcome, and I'm the Big Tau Philosopher. And in this video I would like to talk about Otto Warmbier, or however the hell you pronounce his name. He is the American university student who traveled to North Korea as a tourist in January 2016 and was arrested and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor after being accused of stealing a propaganda poster from his hotel lobby. He recently died on June 19th of this month, 2017, supposedly from a neurological disorder brought on by botulism and a sleeping pill, say the North Koreans. He lapsed into a coma and died. Sounds a little fishy to me. Autopsy found no evidence of botulism. Something ain't right about that. Essentially, the North Koreans probably killed him in some way. That's why they sent him home. We don't know exactly what killed him, to be honest. Not yet. We might never know. But this was an American who traveled to North Korea. And I got to warn all you people out there who would think about going there, don't. We are still in a state of war with North Korea. Are you aware of that? Peace was never declared. A ceasement of arms and, war is over type thing. No, we're still technically in a state of war. Now, that's why they want us to go in there. They just would love it. They love it when Americans go in there. They're trying to advertise themselves as some wonderful tourist location. Yeah, a wonderful tourist location that if you were to take down a friggin' poster, you're going to jail for 15 years. Oh, gee, you took down a poster? I'm going to throw you in a prison camp for 15 years. We can crack rocks and plant corn that won't grow because our land is so infertile and we don't know how to fucking farm. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go there. Let's go to North Korea. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that sounds like a real good idea. And by the way, that's what he's accused of, supposedly trying to steal a propaganda poster. We don't know that that's true, of course. They say did. They have no video evidence. The only evidence they have is the supposed word of some soldiers who come and arrested him. Yeah. Okay. So let's read about his trip to North Korea, shall we? Fred Warmbier stated that his son Otto was traveling in China at the end of 2015 when he saw a company offering trips to North Korea. He decided to go because he was adventurous, according to his father. He accused the tour operator of specifically targeting young Westerners with slogans like, "This is the trip your parents don't want you to take." Well, yeah, that's what tour operators do when they want to get you to go to a dictatorship, a country where they hate Americans, a country that's still at war with us, and they want you to come in so they can arrest you on trumped up, even phony charges, have show trials, and say to their people, look at the arrogant American. He's trying to destroy us. He's so arrogant. He comes into our country. He flaunts our laws. And he thinks he can get away with it because he's a white American. Well, look at this. We're all going to hold him accountable for his actions. It's a win-win for the North Koreans. They get some tourism from stupid young people or dumb religious zealots trying to come in and convert people. I'm not even going to get into that. But this dumb kid, he went to North Korea and he's an American. You must be a friggin' moron. They want you to go in there so they can arrest you for nothing and then say you did something. Then they'll torture you some and deny you food until you give a confession. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, let's go to North Korea. Good idea. But, I mean, you can't blame the tour operator. He's a businessman trying to make money. Your son should have seen right through that. Don't go to North Korea. If I ever had kids, that'd be like the first lesson I told them. If you ever want to travel somewhere, don't go to North Korea. Pick Italy, Rome, or some shit like that, okay? They won't arrest you on trumped-up charges and throw you in jail and have you cracking rocks for 15 years, okay? Anyway, Fred Warmbier said the China-based tour operator, Young Pioneer Tours, targeting young people, generally naive, advertised the trip as safe for U.S. citizens. What? Is that safe? What? That's a lie. If somebody said to me, it's perfectly safe to travel to North Korea. You're an American? It's perfectly safe. I would say, fuck you. What are you, idiot? It's not safe. These people want to kill us. We're still in a state of war with these people. There's nothing safe about traveling to North Korea. If I go there, I'll stay in a hotel for 3 days. I'll check out, and they'll arrest me for stealing an ashtray or something, and I'll spend the next 20 years in a concentration camp. And no evidence, but hello, you don't need any. This whole thing about allowing Americans to come in, it's a sucker bet. It's a sucker bet, man. It's bullshit. You have to be a sucker to fall for this bullshit, okay? You have to be a sucker to go into that country. They just want you to go in there so that they can occasionally arrest evil Americans and say, look at how evil this American is. He's flouting our laws. Yeah. Ooh, look at the evil American. Give me a break. Ah, good Lord. I just don't understand why people are even going to this country to begin with. Especially white people. They especially Americans who they hate above everyone else. So let's continue with the story of his trip to North Korea. Warmbier traveled to North Korea for a 5-day New Year's tour of the country organized by Young Pioneer Tours. 10 other U.S. citizens were in this tour group also. 10 other morons is what they are. You would have to be a friggin' moron to travel to North Korea. And what is there anyway? Land that's been over-farmed and is no longer fertile. Rocks, grass, fake grocery stores, some fake kids running around in nice clothes for propaganda purposes. I mean, what? It's all bullshit. Why would you want to go to this place? I don't get it. During his stay at the Yanggagdo, oh my God, International Hotel in Pyongyang, Warmbier allegedly tried to steal a propaganda sign from a staff-only floor of the hotel, supposedly as a souvenir. The poster stated, "Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism." Okay, so what? It's a fucking poster. What is it, paper? It's worthless? Harming or stealing such items with the name or image of a North Korean leader is considered a serious crime by the North Korean government. It's a serious crime to steal a 10-cent poster. Okay. A video purporting to show the theft was released by state-run Korean Central News Agency on March 18, 2016. Almost 2 months after the arrest. All right. 2 months after the arrest, they released this. In the 18-second low-resolution video, 18 seconds, low resolution, an unrecognizable figure removes the sign from the wall and places it on the floor, leaning it against the wall. This action is shown twice, followed by a higher resolution picture of the sign on the wall. The face of the person removing the poster is not seen during the video clip. Oh, boy. So, some North Korean got it into their head, let's frame up one of these Americans. It'll look good. Yeah, it'll look good for us. It'll look good on TV. Yeah. Let's make it known that Americans are not law-abiding people. They don't respect the laws of other countries. Yeah, we hate these Americans. They couldn't even see the face. Where's the evidence? Arrest and conviction. On January 2nd, 2016, Warmbier was arrested for theft just prior to departing North Korea from Pyongyang International Airport. Grattan witnessed the arrest. Grattan was a friend of his that went with him. No words were spoken. 2 guards just came over and simply tapped Otto on the shoulder and led him away. I just said kind of nervously, that would be Grattan, his friend, "Well, that's the last time we'll see you." Yeah. That was a prophetic statement. Now, there's great irony in these words. That was it. That was the last physical time I saw Otto ever. Otto didn't resist. Of course not. They would have killed him. He didn't look scared. He sort of half smiled. Yeah, because he didn't do anything wrong. I'm curious as to know, where was this... Yeah, where was this actual... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I'm wondering about. Where was the poster? Where was the poster? If he took it as a souvenir, where was it? The others in his tour group left the country without incident. His crime was described as a hostile act against the state by the North Korean news agency KCNA. Warmbier was tried and convicted for the theft of the propaganda banner from a restricted area of the hotel. Evidence at his trial included his confession, which was, of course, coerced, CCTV footage, which didn't show a face, fingerprint evidence, which doesn't mean anything, in my opinion, because they got his fingerprints when they arrested him. It's irrelevant and meaningless, and witness testimony from brainwashed people in North Korea who were part of this show trial. It's a bunch of crap. In a press conference on February 29, 2006, Warmbier reading from a prepared statement. Of course, they gave him a piece of paper, said, "Read this if you want to eat." repeated his confession that he had stolen the banner, which, of course, I see from what I'm reading here that evidence that wasn't found was the actual banner. Where was this banner? The banner was never found, of course, but he took it, but he didn't have it on him. Repeated his confession that he had stolen the banner to take back to the United States. It is not known whether Warmbier made the admission under duress. Yeah, it is. Of course he did. While Human Rights Watch Deputy Director Phil Robertson called the hearing a kangaroo court. You think? You think it was a kangaroo court? On March 16, 2016, 2 hours after U.S. Envoy Bill Richardson met with two North Korean diplomats from the United Nations office to press for Warmbier's release, Warmbier was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. We think you stole a banner, meaning we set you up so we could arrest you and make America look bad, and now we're going to put you in jail for 15 years. Human Rights Watch called the sentencing outrageous and shocking, of course, while U.S. State Department spokesman Mark Toner said that it was clear that North Korea used arresting U.S. citizens for political purpose, despite its claims to the contrary. Of course, why do you think they're telling Americans they want them to come in and you'll be treated well and we have a wonderful country for you to see and be a tourist in? No, they want you to come in. It's a trap, you idiots. Some news media have likewise inferred that the harsh sentence was in response to heightened tensions with the U.S. Duh, it's retaliatory, you morons. In May 2017, Warmbier's father said he and his wife wanted their son to be part of any negotiations between the United States and North Korea. According to Warmbier's father, the Obama administration had encouraged them to keep a low profile about their son's situation. Yeah, Obama didn't do a goddamn thing. Basically, release. On June 12, 2017, Rex Tillerson, the United States Secretary of State, announced that North Korea had released Warmbier. Tillerson also announced that the U.S. State Department secured Warmbier's release at the direction of President Donald Trump. Not Obama, who did nothing. He was a useless scumbag. Tillerson said that the State Department continues discussing 3 other detained Americans with North Korea. A week before Warmbier's release, his parents were told by North Korean officials that their son had contracted foodborne botulism. You know, I'm surprised they were feeding him. Sometime after his trial, botulism. Yeah, they were feeding him shit off the floor or dog, old regurgitated dog food. Who knows what the hell they were feeding him? But it certainly wasn't good food if he got botulism. Sometime after his trial, and fell into a coma after taking a sleeping pill. I wonder what was really in that sleeping pill. Interesting. Or what he was given before he was released. In the U.S., however, doctors found no evidence of botulism after examining him. There was no way to find out what happened to him prior to his release, since there had been no contact with North Korean medical authorities during that year and a half. After 17 months in prison, Warmbier in a comatose state. So he was in a coma before he got to America. We only have this story from them. He got botulism. He took a sleeping pill, and it reacted with the botulism and gave him a neurological condition, and he's put into a coma. And then we're going to give him back to you. Yeah, right. They didn't want to have to float the cost of taking care of him. Of course, it could be they were going to release him anyway, and they poisoned him or did something to him and put him in a coma. We might never know. And he was flown to Cincinnati, Ohio, arriving in the evening of June 13, 2017. He was rushed to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where doctors tried to determine what caused his coma and if there were any signs of recovery. Interesting. About his medical condition, Warmbier's physicians at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center stated that he was in a state of unresponsive wakefulness, a condition commonly known as persistent vegetative state. Maybe he got a good whack on the head. He was able to breathe on his own and blink his eyes, but otherwise did not respond to his environment. Medical records, if they can be believed, I'm surprised they have medical records or physicians in that country to begin with, from North Korea showed that Warmbier had been in this state since April 2016. April 2016! Holy shit. 1 month after his conviction. During his release, the North Koreans provided a disc containing 2 magnetic resonance imaging brain studies dated April and July 2016, showing damage to the brain. Of course, we don't know if that is true. The timing, that is. Damage to the brain. Interesting. And where did this damage come from? I wonder. According to his medical team, brain scans reveal Warmbier had suffered extreme loss of brain tissue throughout his brain consistent with a cardiopulmonary event in a college kid, in a kid in his early 20s? Aha! That caused the brain to be denied oxygen. This is very strange. So a kid this young having a cardio episode, it's virtually unheard of unless he had some kind of hereditary inherited condition. It's very interesting. That caused the brain to be denied oxygen. Doctors said that they did not know what caused the cardiac arrest. Yeah, I know, some kind of poison, no doubt, but that it could have been triggered by a respiratory arrest. While a neurointensive care specialist at the hospital stated there was no evidence indicating botulism. They said physicians found no evidence of physical abuse or torture. Scans of Warmbier's neck and head were normal outside of the brain injury. Okay, so he was a valuable hostage. We see. Warmbier's father, or semi-valuable at least, they offed him, obviously, in a way that couldn't be detected. They held him for as long as they did. Who knows why? Jeez, this is a very strange case. Yeah, right, until Trump came along and actually did something about it while Obama sat on his ass and did nothing. But it's all very suspicious. A kid that age having a cardiopulmonary event that could have been triggered by respiratory arrest caused by what? And it was very, very, very early into his captivity that this happened. So it's not like he had reached an extreme point of deprivation by that point. So what brought this on? See, that's why I'm very suspicious and tend to lean towards some kind of poisoning or toxin of some kind. Death and public reactions. Warmbier died in the hospital at 2:20 p.m. on June 19, 2017, at the age of 22. Very young man to have these very suspicious problems that they're talking about, that the North Koreans just say caused this problem. His family issued a statement expressing their sadness, thanking the hospital staff for their actions. President Trump issued a statement regarding Warmbier's death. There is nothing more tragic for a parent than to lose a child in the prime of their life. Our thoughts and prayers are with Otto's family and friends and all who loved him. An autopsy on Warmbier will not be performed at the request of his family. Oh, that's very strange. And only external examination will be conducted. That's very unusual. Doctors speculated that the cause of death could have been a blood clot, pneumonia, sepsis, or kidney failure. Ay. Brought on by cardiopulmonary event, brought on by respiratory arrest. This all seems like the kind of outcome you would be getting from some kind of toxin. It later says sleeping pills could have caused Warmbier to stop breathing if he had botulism and was paralyzed from it. But again, the doctors found no evidence he had ever had botulism. The University of Cincinnati doctors didn't find any evidence of botulism, but several neurologists said that doesn't rule it out. This is, I don't know, it's very suspicious. They said it might not be possible to detect any sign of it after so many months. After his death, Young Pioneers, the tour company that organized the trip for Warmbier and his friends, announced that it stopped offering trips to North Korea for Americans. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. That's death knell of your business, my friend. Once the people that you're taking back and forth to Korea are getting arrested and dying in captivity, that's not good advertising for you. One U.S. official notes that the State Department's website has for years strongly warned Americans to avoid traveling to North Korea, and yet they still continue to because they're dumb liberals. A funeral for Warmbier was held on June 22nd at Wyoming High School with over 2,500 mourners attending it. Now, I want to reiterate this, people. Don't go to North Korea. The U.S. government, for once, has it right. It's a trap. They want you to go there so they can arrest you, so they can use you to essentially some kind of bargaining tool to get something out of you or to just make America lose face, make us look bad, get back at us, retaliate, thump their chest to their own people and say, look at this horrible American. Look at how virtuous we are, and he breaks our laws. They're so arrogant. That's all it is. And by the way, the left was making fun of this kid. I mean, if you watch TV, a whole bunch of these late-night leftist idiots, and I mean, we're making fun of his name and making jokes about him. There's nothing funny here. There's nothing funny about this poor kid dying. Now, what is funny is that he went there at all. I think he's a moron. I don't think he got what he. I don't think that he deserved to die the way he did. He didn't deserve to be arrested. There was no evidence, quite honestly. It was just all manufactured bullshit shit. Oh, there were some fingerprints. You say you found some fingerprints. You took his fingerprints and you presented them in the court and said, oh, look, we've got his fingerprints here. We found these near the poster. But you took them. We don't know that you found them there. This is all horseshit. It's not like North Korea has CSIs or some shit like that, or they have some kind of chain of custody that is like impervious to being tampered with, like the chain of custody in America doesn't. Even American chain of custody isn't tamper-proof, for God's sake. Can you imagine North Korea? There's no, it's all tamper-proof. It's all bullshit. You can't trust these people. And there was no evidence in the video. There was no face. So North Korea simply goes out of its way to arrest Americans. They want to lure you there, and then they want to pick and choose and say, okay, let's this guy. Yeah, we got a plan. Let's arrest this guy. He looks like he'd make a good, somebody that we could hold up and say, hey, look at this guy. He's evil. He's an American. He flouts our laws. That's the guy. Let's frame that dude. That's what happened. That's what they do in North Korea. I still don't know how anybody goes there. I don't understand why anyone would want to go there. There's nothing to see. Tourism is about seeing interesting new places. There's nothing interesting about it. Have you seen North Korea at night? They're satellite pictures. It's like darkness. It's like a void of anything. And then you look at South Korea, and it's all a giant light. Lights everywhere. But North Korea is like, it's dead. It's a dead fucking country. You like graveyards? Because that's what North Korea is. It's a big fucking graveyard with 25 million dead people in it. Walking around, 25 million zombies. Led by the fattest zombie in the world, okay? Does that sound like an interesting place to go to? Does that sound like an interesting place that you would want to visit? It doesn't sound that interesting to me. I would have preferred to go to like Rome or something and see the amphitheater or some shit like that. But this kid, unfortunately, this dumb privileged moron, and this kid was obviously real privileged. He's walking around, traveling around China, and then just says on a whim, oh, let's go to North Korea too while I'm at it. Yeah, I'm traveling in China. I'm a tourist. And now I'm just going to go, I'm going to go visit North Korea on a whim too. What the fuck? Who can do that? I have my suspicions about this kid, that he was a leftist, that he perhaps saw the North Koreans as oppressed people. Maybe he didn't believe all the stuff he'd heard about North Korea. Perhaps he thought that the U.S. government was an oppressing force and that the North Koreans were poor, oppressed people, and they weren't nearly as bad as the media had reported. They weren't nearly as bad as the government had reported. Well, he found out the hard way that they were much, much worse than he had thought. Dumb, naive kid who died and didn't have to. I feel for him. Don't want to speak ill of the dead, but I can't ignore reality. He was a dummy, and his stupidity got him killed. Very sad case. I'm not making fun of him, but I'm speaking truth. It was very dumb what he did. And if any of you out there ever thinking about going to North Korea, don't. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.